So 2 mark questions will be there. So here observed times rating normal time it is calculated 2 into 80 divided by 100 you will get this normal times and the whatever normal times or basic times you will get in percentage of this means 1.6 into 10 divided by 100 this is personal allowance. After that 1.6 into 5 divided by 100 this is contingency. So this contingency allowance plus the personal allowance you have to add into your normal times, then you will get the standard time. So this things will be there. So here it is calculated. After that, third example, it is there. This is the related to broaching operations. Internal gear we can manufacture by the broaching. So how much the standard times is required for a broach for particular product. This we can calculate observed times rating into relaxation. So every time personal allowance and contingency allowance always be there. Other allowance will not be considered. Okay. Then we have gone through the work sampling. We have who has made the study over the work sampling here is given electricity and what is the definition of work sampling and from the industrial point of view only through this work sampling we have to see whether machine or man or others workstation it is in working conditions or idle conditions that we have to see through the work sampling. After this what is the actually need of work sampling? Very simple thing is there's how much percentage of the uh, working hours over these machines or how much the non-productive time and how much the productivity time for man or machine. This actually need to calculate or need to search by using the work sampling. So yesterday we have gone through this. After that, advantages of the work sampling. What are the advantages of the work sampling? So here's around 9 advantages it has given. Many activity which are important and costly measured by time studies, it can be measured by work sampling. So number of activity in the industry, it is very critical to measure by time was study because the fast or continuous process is there, just like movement of the material that is by conveyor, etc. Then here we cannot make use of a time study because continuous rotation of the conveyor is there, material handling system is there, assembly system is there, continuous production whenever is there, there is very critical to use the time study. Under this condition, we can use the work sampling. Simultaneously works if it is observed by the operator, machines, etc. That we can do that. It requires fewer man hours and 5 to 10% the cost continuously time. Means for work sampling, only 1 to 2, 3% it is more than sufficient as compared to our time study. After that, observation may be taken over period of days or weeks. Sometimes it is not necessary to take continuously observation 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Once production is over, after that we can take the work sampling and we can search this thing. For this purpose, we require work sampling. Work sampling study can be instructed at any time without affecting the work. We can stop the this work sampling at any time without affecting the continuous production, without disturbance to the operator or machine, etc. We can make use of the work sampling. Results are more accurate as compared to time study. Work sampling studies are lesser fatigue and less tedious. This is very simple and less fatigue is required as compared to our time study. Many times people do not like to observe continuously for long time for time study. We see that while doing the time study, actually we require to observe that work or man's working on the machine, etc. And there is psychological effect on the worker's mind. So, to avoid this part, we can use the work sampling. Now, stopwatch is not needed for workshop. Already we have seen this. Only few samples is required, and we can test that, and we can go for work sample. Then here it is the disadvantages. Work sample is not economical for a single operator or machine. Only one operator is there, only one machine is there. We cannot do. Then similarly, it is not also useful to study the machine of operate spread over the wide area because spend too much time for walking to and fro from the road. Means this place of the machines or the operator that is spread over the wide area for walking from this place to that place, one machine to second machine of that corner. So this is unnecessary time wasting, and for this purpose we cannot use this. Time study permits final breakdowns of activity and delays than work sampling. So here actually need not to go for split of the element as compared to time study as in our work sampling. Actually, in time study, whenever the assembly is there, we can get it split and then individual elements we can measure the time. But here actually we cannot do like this. Operator may change his work pattern upon sight of the observer, and if this is occurs, then result of observations are of no use. Change his work pattern. In the production's way of the doing by the operator, if it will get changed, then there is no use of work sampling. Then management and workers may not understand the statistical work sampling as are used in time frame. Uh, this is actually problems in our management system because number of times management of workers, the standard deviation, then the work sampling, frequency of occurrence, mean, mode, etc. So these things many times operators or management we cannot understand. Actually, this mean, mode, standard deviation, this part will comes under the work sampling, and this is actually disadvantage of the work sampling that management cannot understand this. In certain kinds of work sampling, no record of methods used by operators, but the new method is applied, it is necessary to take a new study. Normally, this work sampling, it is observed on the continuous working process, that is the old method. But if there is a new method, we can let us consider the work sampling for the same. So this is about the disadvantages. Then next part, that is the predetermined motion time study. Now, related to this work sampling, normally the numerical problem as per syllabus, there is no numerical problem, even though many times we can observe that write a short note on work sampling. What is work sampling? Need of work sampling, advantages and disadvantages of work sampling. Like this question will be there. So from our syllabus point of view, this is only one thing actually required in work sampling. So next part is there predetermined motion time study. This is the new topic. Already we have covered standard times and work sampling. This is the technique used in our work measurement. Now this is the last technique, that is the predetermined motion time study. Predetermined motion time study is also referred as predetermined time standard. Next name is given here, time standard. A time or operation may be established by time study. Whatever activity is there, for example, assembly of nut and bolt. This is one activity. Holding job of the machine. Second activity. Measurement of the dimension of the job. This is third activity. So, time required to do this activity, that is established by time study. Here we require once again time study, stopwatch method. How much time is required to complete this activity, that is already decided in this PMTS. That time or operation may be established by time study. Means already we have to set the time to complete this activity by using time study, by work sampling or by using predetermined times. So here time study we can use as well as work sampling we can use. as well as predetermined times is already data, it is exist related to that work, that is called predetermined. So by three way we can establish the time. One, that is time study, second by work sampling, and third by predetermined time. Predetermined time standards are advanced techniques for defining the time period for performance of various motions, and not by direct observation and measurement. Only one thing here you have to remember: these methods, it is related to motions, because while doing the assembly of nut bolt, hello, while doing the any assembly, nut bolt washer assembly, our both hands are moving. So first hand will move uh, to hold that washer. After that, next hand will go for to hold a nut. So this is the motion of our two hands, and that motions we have to um, decide the time required to particular this motion. Okay, so predetermined motion time standard. This is related to motion. How much time is required to do that particular? For example, we require to measure a job. Okay, so to measure the jobs, what we require? Verniers. After that, sliding up that verniers. After that, we can hold these jobs. After that, we can go for it. So within these periods, how many the body activities are there? Two hands, our arms, then our legs, etc. All these motions that is done by us, that we have to measure, and there should be specific time. It is already decided, and that we have to utilize under this predetermined motion time study. Now, definition by ILO. What is that ILO? International Labor Organization. So, time standard is work measurement technique whereby time established for basic human motion, classified according to the nature of motions, condition under which it is made, are used to build up the time for job at definite level of performance. So this is the definition of PMTs. From the examination point of view, only write a short notes on PMTs like this question is there. So this is the theory part. What is actually definition? Definition, we have to establish the standard times for particular motion. Motion of our one hand, motion of our second hand, motion of leg, motions of the job. Correct. So we have to decide the already times required to do that motion. There must be chart, and the same chart we can utilize for next activity, same activity. Here, predetermined motion work measurement technique whereby time established for basic human motions. What are the basic human motions? To catch, grasp, move, go, like this motion. What are that motion? After this slide, we will go in that motions. The how much time is required for that motion, that we have to establish at the standard level of performance. This is the definition. Okay. So here's if you go in this, what are the motions? Is that number of motions are there? Here, grasp, reach, move, gate, handle. So like these motions are there. Again here, reach, move. So these are the basic motions, and after this we can give the time required for each motion. This is going to see. So here, so related to this PMTS, very simple thing is that we have to set the time for basic human motion at standard level of performance. What is the definition of PMT? We have to set the standard time. We have to establish the standard time for human motion while doing the any work at standard level of performance. This is called PMTS, predetermined motion time study. Means if you are going for any assembly, then how our hand is moving. First of all, hand will move away from body. It will reach to the jobs. After that, by the fingers, we can hold it, come back, put this. So this is the motion of the hand. And for this motion, we have to set the standard time, and that standard time is utilized for further work. But these standard times we have to calculate it or decided by using by using a time study, work sampling, uh, at standard level of performance. Standard level of performance means we have to check the performance of that operator having skill, experience, and efficient working conditions, then the efficient methods, etc. Standard, whatever the performance checking levels are there, that levels we have to check and decide the time required for particle. For grasping, suppose I want to pick up any washers, so we can move and grasp this, correct? So how much time is required? This time is actually decided at the standard level of performance, means standards workers performance, correct? So for this purpose, we require this predetermined motion time study. Now, what factors to be considered using predetermined time system? What factors actually we require? First factor, the operation being measured should be divided into basic motions. Suppose our turning operation is there. Okay. So split, what is, how much activity actually we required while doing the turning of job? First of all, we have to hold the job, put in the check, get it tight. After that, tools. We have to uh, hold that tools, get it tight. After that, we can make the alignments. After that, we can start the machine. After that, we can move the tool post. So, like these activities are there, that activity divided into basic motions. So, while doing this turning operation, what is actually the motion done by the human's body, that actually we have to decide. Then next is there, next. At the time of the application of PMT for first time in company, these departments have made to necessary in order to match the company's performance level which is actually required. So at the time of application of the PMTS, the trial time the companies actually requires in this particular condition. So we can take one examples related to this. Suppose any manufacturing industry is there. For example, forging industries are there. So which job is there that we have to decide, get it split, decide the times and what actually activities required for particular motions, that we have to decide, and accordingly we can put into uh, this chart. So this predetermined motions study, this is a very important from the industrial point of view, because while doing this work on the job, etc., we require to measure the motion of each activity or the motion of the body of the human. Okay, so here at the time of the application of PMTs for the first time in company, adjustment should be made if necessary in order to match the company's performance level, which is one times activity. So what is the meaning of this one times activity means? First, we have to decide the level of performance initially, and then we can use for further use. Third point is there, add the allowance in a time study because most of predetermined time studies do not include allowances. So here you can add the allowances because most of predetermined motion times the allowance is not added. Which type of allowance? Maybe your personal allowance, related allowance. So that you have to add. Now next part, that is the advantages. What is the advantages of this? This PTS system offers following advantages over stopwatch time study technique. So what is the advantages of this method over other methods? First, for given motion, only one time is indicated in respect of place of motion. Correct. So for one act, for grasping is the one activity. So we have to decide only one time in respect of place of motion. Place is not important in any place. For grasping, we have to give this much. For reaching, we have to give this much time. Correct. So this is the advantages. Any place we can give only one time. Second, timing by direct observation and rating can sometimes lead to inconsistency. PTS system avoids both rating and direct observation, hence can lead to consistency setting standard times. So here's uh, observation actually need not required because already we have set the times for a particular motion. Further, we don't require the observation. Same times we have to use for the uh, same activity, and there is consistency while calculating the standard time. Now, next thing is that as the time for various operations can be derived from the standard timetable, as the time for various motions uh, for particular activity that is derived from the standard timetable, it is possible to define the standard times for given operation even before production begins and process is still at the design stage. This allows the work study man to change the layout and design of the workplace to get optimum production times. So this third point, this is very important. Say that in this, what is actually a advantages of this predetermined motion study? Any work is going on, definitely repetition is there. We can use the data of this predetermined motion time system, and we can calculate the standard time. But before production, suppose production of bearing is there. Okay, before starting the bearing production, we have to decide the standard time for each elements of the bearing, maybe forging, turning, grinding, okay, heat treatments, measurements, etc., like this way. So you have to decide the standard time, and accordingly we can plan the layout, machine layout or production system. So before starting any productions, we can make use of this because for particular motions already we have decided standard time. So these times we can use in next production line, but the motion of the body of the man that is will remain same. So we can make utilization of this, and accordingly it is also feasible to the managements or the workers in industry to decide the plant layout actually we require to industry. So that's why this three part, point number three, that is very important. Once again, we go to this point as the time for various operations can be derived from the standard table. Means already standard table is there, which is this whatever the numerical value in the table that is actually done by time step. Means already time is there for each motion. It is possible to define the standard time for given operation even before production begins. Means Before starting a production, we can give the standard time for particular operation. For example, one job is there having a forging operation, grinding operation, turning operation, heat treatment operation. So particular operation while manufacturing a job, standard times with us, and accordingly we can give the standard times for upcoming the production system. Means with help of charts, we have to go to the actual production. Okay. Suppose I require to manufacture bearing within 2 hours. It is already decided. So before starting production of the bearing, anyhow we will have to tell to that worker, I need this job within the 2 hours because standard time is already calculated. Okay. So before production begins and process is still at the design stage. Sometimes before production there is one more a backstage process is their design. Correct. So there also we can put the uh, how much time is required for production of the particular job. So why there is a need of this standard time? Because every time production and cost, productivity and company target, this is very important. In order to achieve this thing, less cost, more production, more productivity and targets and the to achieve the given delivery date. In order to compensate this, we require the time for each activity, each motion, and this also we can decide at the design stage. This allows the work study man to change the layout. Sometimes, if there is a problem in actual work, along with this, whatever chart is decided, if there is a problem, then this work study man can allow to change the work layout so that whatever timing it is decided, it can be achieved. Means if the standard time is decided and actually on shop floor it is not possible to achieve, that means there is some problem. Now, in order to achieve this target or to remove this problem, the work study man having certain authority to change the layout in order to achieve the standard time. Okay, so this is very important. Design of the workplace to get the optimum production time. Workplace design means sometimes they are doing the assembly at a workplace at one station. One table is there, chair is there, and there is assembly. For example, carburetor. Carburetors, so many parts are there that is actually lying on the tables, and the man is doing the assembly of the carburetors. He will take nut from this side, one pocket from this second pocket, then assembly, tightening nuts, screwdriver, etc. So this is the actual workplace, and for that workplace, what is actually assembly times, this also we can decide. And according workplace means where actually we are doing the uh, assembly, that workplace also we can design. Means left side washer should be there, right side nut should be there, in front side bolt should be there, and just nearer to body the body of the cap should be there. So our hand movement, whatever length of our hand, it will covers all these parts. If it is going behind the coverage area, then the operators will get fatigue within that hour. So fatigue allowance will get increased. To avoid this problem, the workplace has to design in such way that while doing the workers the particular work or assembly, he should achieve the standard time. So this is the third point. This is very important for me. Now we'll go for next. That is the fourth point. There are less time consuming to apply. So here less time is actually required as compared to other time study or work sampling. There are less time consuming to apply. So if you want to apply this predetermined motion, what actually we require? Take one standard tables and start. For this motion, this much time. For this motion, this. The less time will get consumed. And last one, there are very useful for repetitive cycles. So this is the gate questions where we can use this uh, predetermined motion time system or standards where we can use whenever a repetitive cycle job is there. These are very useful for repetitive cycle job. Assembly of the carburetor. Once the assembly of carburetor is over, next same thing will be there for next carburetor. Once that next carburetor is over, we can keep aside. We'll go for next third carburetor. So this is the repetitive. To catch the bolt, nut, and washer, this is a repetitive action. To get the two parts of the carburetor, this is a repetitive. And putting this bolt and nut inside the carburetor and going for tightening this is repetitive. So whenever repetitive cycles are there, then we can make use of this predetermined motion uh, systems or standards. Okay, so these are the advantages. This now, what is the disadvantage? So disadvantages, first disadvantages, any PTS system is rather complicated. Work study man needs good deal of practice before he can use it correctly. Means it is actually easy, but without knowledge, without the study of this process, it will become complicated. So here we require little bit practice for this type of motion we need to apply on the shop floor. Without practice, it is very critical. This is actually a disadvantage of this. Next, this predetermined motion time standard or system do not eliminate need for stopwatch completely. Here, actually, once we collect the standard data, we don't require the stopwatch or uh, any other measurements, any instrument or device for this. So here's need for stopwatch is completely do not use. This is actually disadvantage because while doing the any work, some second minutes are there. We cannot count by variation. Correct. Here, when a stopwatch study is there, here we can count. But here, a second loss, minute loss, this thing will not get count. This is the actually disadvantage of this system. Third, machine time, process time, waiting times are not measurable with this machine. Machine time, machining time we cannot measure. Process times we cannot measure. Waiting times are not measurable with people. So this is actually related to motion, not related to actually body motion of the workers, but it is not related to the machine time turning operation. How much time is required? That is different. It will not come under it. But while doing the turning, whatever the body motions are there, that we can measure. So this actually mean to say. Now, fourth point, use of PTS system in batch production and non-repetitive jobs is expensive. Now, continuous production is there, correct? Uh, then always we have to use work sampling. Here we cannot use predetermined time systems or standard or use of PTS system in batch production. Particularly for batch production, we can use, not for continuous production. If the continuous production is there, then we can use work sampling. Non-continuous production is there, batch production is there, then we have to use this because standard time is decided for a batch. Okay, continuous production is there. It is very critical to decide here. You can use either this work samplings or your time. Then next, It is invalid to add up times for individual small motion in the way recorded by PTS system. It is invalid to add up times for individual small motion. Now, already we have decided times for the motion. Accordingly, that worker needs to do the same motion. If little bit additional motion is there, there is a problem. So, in which way that motion has decided, accordingly, we can set that motions, and it's invalid to add up times for individual small motion. Means in the ongoing, any additional motion is there, it is very critical because already we have to stand. Because the time taken to perform particular motion is influenced by the motions proceeding and following it. It is very critical to apply because already it is exist and we can make use of this uh, standard data and standard motion for this. So this is about the disadvantages. Now next part is the different forms of PTS. So here different types are there. Let us please consider the different types for this PTM. Work study person is likely to encounter a number of different forms of PTS system, will therefore find it is useful to understand main way of which the system is very. So here's show certain three types of machines actually it is required: M1, M2, M3. So here it is M1, M2, M3 machines are there, and accordingly they have given the idea about the motion. Okay, so here uh, in these figures below this figure is given, that is the 23.6 figure is there. So this is the 23.6 figure. So in this figure shows the data level by means of officially international methods time measurement. So this is first method, international method time measurement. Method time measurement, this is one method. And under this methods time measurement number one, methods time measurement number two, methods time measurement number three. The first level consists of motion like release. Okay. So first, you can see this figure: first level, second level, third level, higher level. So these levels are there. Means the predetermined motion study examples they have given. Under this example, that is the methods time measurements. Methods time measurement, three types are there: MT1, MT2, MT3, and higher level. Three levels are there. The first level consists of motion like release, reach, grasp, move, and position. So this is the first level. Examples I have given: assembly of or carburetor with help of two hands in one table. Let us consider that assembly. So first level, how many motions are there? Release, grasp, reach, move, and position. Means release means release your hand and go to that position, grasp that part, reach this part back, move back, and positions of that nut to the carburetor, like this. So this one, two, three, four, five motions, it will comes under the first motion. Correct. So here release, reach, grasp, release, release hand, reach to that uh, reach to that point where the nut bolts are there. After that, grasp that. Grasping is there with help of fingers. Then come back to the position. Insert that position. Insert in that position. This will comes under the first. So each motion: release, grasp, reach, move, position. So for each motion, there is need to decide this time, and which is already decided. and we can make utilization at the same time for the same motion. Suppose I have decided 5 minutes to release, there must be 5 minutes. Suppose I release 2 minutes for grass, there must be 2 minutes. Suppose in the standard data to reach back to the position of the assembly, uh, time is required 2 minutes, means within the 2 minutes we have to reach. So this is already time decided, and that we have to follow. If we will not going to follow, there must be effect on the standard time. There must be effect on the standard time. Now second level is there, machine, your method times measurement, method times measurement. Second level is there, 2 points are get and put. Get that thing, get screwdriver, put over this and go for tight. Carburetor associate, and this is second level. Third level, after completing these things, you have to handle that carburetor and you can put in the stock or the side bag. And higher layer combination gives simple and complex elements. If there is any problems, burr, etc., or anything, a thing is there that we'll put in this higher level. But at least we have to follow these three levels, and we have to get the complete the time standards for this assembly or any other assembly. So this is called the methods time measurement. So methods time measurements, your methods time measurement. This system was developed by Methods Time Measurement Association. It got recognized in 1948. MTM measures the time in terms of TMU, time measurement unit. So this is also a great question in industrial engineering. What is TMU, time measurement unit? TMU, time measurement unit. So one time measurement unit, this is equal to 0.0006 minute. Here, or maybe objective questions in your exam. Uh, one time measurement unit, one time measurement unit, that is equal to 0.006 minutes. This you have to note down because the number of times we required. One, what is actually TMU? This TMU means time measurement unit, and one TU means how much minute? 0.006 minutes. So this YUM means method times measurements. Measure the time in terms of this. Always this MTM measure the time in terms of TMU. Okay. So measure the times with help of TMU. Uh, MTU analyze an industrial job into basic human movements required to do the same. By using these standard times can be calculated and by adding together. So whatever motions are there and related to that motions, we have to calculate the times and basis of T and Q. And after that, we have to split the elements as per requirement, as per our the reach, grasping, etc., and converts this minute times into TMU. And this is the useful for getting the standard time by adding standard time. Okay, so TMT analysis and industrial jobs into basic human movements required to do the same basic motion we have to measure in terms of TMU, and that we have to add. This will become a time that is normal or basic, and in that we have to add the allowance became standard time. So which things are there here? Reach, we have to decide standard time. Move is there, turn and apply pressure, grasp is there, position is there, release is there, disengage is there. gait is there, foot is there. So as per above our charts, which motions are there? Release is the one motion. This is related to the human motions, human bodies, or hand, or the leg, etc. If a man is working on the press machine, we need to measure the motion of the leg also. So release the leg, put on the uh, footstep of the press like this. So here all these motions we have to split and decide the times in terms of TMU. In that you have to add the allowance, it will become standard time. So whatever motions above it is given, release, grasp, reach, move, position, gate, put and handle. So 3 plus 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 motions are there. 8 motions times we have to decide in terms of TMU that you have to add totally, and after that adding you have to put there the allowances, maybe personal allowance or contingency allowance, and then it will become standard time. So this is about the PMT. So within the 1 minute, just we will go to the revision of this, or time is actually 1 minute. Okay. So next time we'll go for revision of the this PMTs from the uh, university examination point of view. Only write a short this theoretical questions will be there. Work sampling and PMTs. Work sampling theoretical question, PMT theoretical question, but calculation of standard time numerical problems will be there. So up till now we have covered three techniques. One technique is standard times calculation by using different alarms. Second thing, work sampling means here we have decided ideal times and working time, and predetermined motion times means whatever humans motions are there, for each motion, we have to decide the time. How many motions are there? 8 motions are there. And these 8 motions, we have to decide the standard time. Which are the 8 motions? The release, grasp, reach. And each motions, we have to decide the standard time. But initially, we have to measure this time by using one TMU. One TMU means 0.006 minutes. You can add this 8 times TMU, this will become normal or basic time. In that, we have to add the standard time. In that, we have to add the allowances, then it will become standard. So this is about this PMTS. Okay, so now our time is over. So we'll stop here. Thank you for all of you.